How can a piece of music make you long for a place you've never been? This is one of the most recognizable and most widely loved themes in the entire Lord of the Rings franchise. It's the one that keeps you emotionally tied to the films decades after the fact. This theme is home, and it makes you want to go back, even if you've never been there.
God damn it, Lord of the Rings is so fucking good. Is it not?
What is it? What is it about this? Why is it so... Oh, it just speaks to you
He's
so
not wrong.
deeply. This is the first
so
time
not
in
wrong.
Fellowship of the Ring that we hear the Shire theme. And it's, of course, when we meet Frodo Baggins. And the visual we see here, coupled with the theme, tells us exactly what we're supposed to feel, especially in contrast to the introduction
it's so good.
that we've
It's
just
so
witnessed.
fucking
This
good.
is home. It's safe. It's everything we envision when we think about our childhoods. Whether ours was exactly this, or if we're just idealizing the perfect childhood. This is the place we come back to. It's the golden hour sunshine, the green of the trees and the plants, the birds in the background. Frodo's just leaning against a tree reading a book. I mean, everything about this says there's nothing to worry about here, nothing to fear, no cause for concern. You're home. How does such a simple melody give us this feeling? Let's check it out. We're in the key of D major. Now, right there, I think we have quite a lot of information, despite it being so simple, that kind of might give us a little bit of this sense of why it feels so nostalgic, right? This is essentially a D pentatonic scale, just missing one note. But that note, as you might it probably sounds familiar, is about to come into play. So really, we have this D major pentatonic sound. Well, that pentatonic sound is very synonymous with a lot of Celtic folk music, which is, as we know, much of what Lord of the Rings is based on. And something about the simplicity of... I mean, that line right there, is that not just a complete sentence? It's not necessarily like a question, right? So often we talk about call and response, and there's certainly a lot of call and response in much of Howard Shore's soundtrack for The Lord of the Rings, but in this particular case, it's complete, it's comfortable, it's resolved, it lands right on the root. Everything about this is grounded, and it's not leaving anything up to question.
He's so
it's
good.
like, nope, we know where we are, and we know we're safe, everything's good. Two things happen here. Number one, we get the fifth note of our D major pentatonic scale, but as we change the chord, we go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Now, there's something that is inherently hopeful about moving from the 1 to the 4. It's not necessarily as
We need to
bright
move down to the alto
as the 5 chord, and the 5 chord almost carries more of like a questioning type of nature to it, because we typically associate the 5 chord with a dominant resolution where we would go back to the 1. So that 5 chord is in a sense begging to go somewhere else, which gives us this feeling that it's not fully resolved. However, the 4 chord,
I'd have to play around with it. I'm not that good.
it almost can sit there more comfortably. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit, I don't know if this is the right word, but darker of a move if we're purely talking about, going around the key circle. Technically, the 4 chord is darker than the 5 chord. 5 chord's very bright. But that 4 chord is just, I don't know, something about the rising to that 4 chord. It's so beautiful and it's so hopeful, and that even the melody rises. The root rises from D to G, but also, and that note there, I think that, that note is so beautiful. C sharp over the G chord creates what we would consider to be like a sharp 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
There it is. That's an alto. I was playing it in soprano. Sorry.
Sharp,
It's
right?
really good.
So when we place that note, now that note is inherently odd because against the root of this chord, it's a tritone away, that's not supposed to work. That's supposed to sound dissonant. And it does if you just take it out of context, but if you play it in context, it's incredibly beautiful. What an interesting thing that is. I've always found that fascinating that works that way. But context, of course, in music is everything, and that is absolutely gorgeous.
Context is everything.
Then we get a resolution back to the 1, and there's our 5 chord, which is begging us to go back to the 1, as we talked about before. So there's so many things happening just in this first couple moments of the theme that are dead simple. There's nothing to this. And that's part of why I think it just grounds us so well. In the last video, we talked about the insane dissonance of the Ring theme and the Mordor theme, the Sauron theme. Like, there's so many things going on in those themes that are incredibly dissonant, that are incredibly unsettling. It's very dark, very minor, with a lot of notes in there.
Still don't like it.
Right? There's so many things in there that are meant to be unsettling and unnerving, but this is the opposite.
I wish I could play music like that.
And in our introduction to the Shire, there's another version of this theme that is maybe even more recognizable than the first one that we hear, and that, of course, is concerning hobbits. It's the exact same theme, but now played on.
So good. So fucking dope. So good.
Tin Whistle? Is this Tin Whistle? Sorry, I got distracted for a second. That's how we turn it around. So beautiful. We use that minor 6 chord, then to the 5, and that sets us up to go right back to the 1. Now, this is yet another
it's
Celtic
so good.
instrument
It's not...
that is, it just, I don't know, something about these instruments it just feels nostalgic, you know? And that's I think it's that Celtic folk music, that influence that is all over the place in this score. And now we get the second part.
God damn it. God damn it! This music is so fucking good. Why is the pig so big and fat? God damn.
So what's going on here is that there's so much diatonic harmony in the key of D. Now, we've talked about that before, but just a quick refresher, that just means that we're going to derive the chords that we use from the notes of our home key's major scale. In this case, we're using D major. So that means we have this bank of notes to work with. Think of it like all the white keys just with an F sharp and a C sharp. Okay, that's the key of D. So if we have that palette to work with, if we start building
Are you down with that, Chad?
Well, if we start on the root of the chord,
where even is Chad?
We get a D major chord. And what we can do is we can run this shape, this triad shape, stacked thirds, all the way up the scale, only using the notes of D major, and we will wind up with what we call the naturally occurring diatonic chords in D major. They are as follows: D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C diminished, it's the only one that's a little weird, and that brings us back to D. Now you'll notice that because of the fact that we're using only the notes of the D major scale, some of the chords that we play are going to be major, and some of the chords that we play are going to be minor, right? The root is always major, the 4 is always major, the 5 is always major, but the 2 is always minor, the 3 is always minor, the 6 is always minor.
I like that he's going through this for people who don't.
Right, and like we said, the 7 is that one that kind of is the only one that is diminished, right? But what we're going to be doing here, and you can already see this just in the first part of the melody, the 1 chord is major, the 4 chord is major, 1 chord is major, 5 chord is major, 1, 6, which is minor, to the 5, which is major. So we're only using the chords that naturally occur within the key of D major. We're going to continue that here. If you've ever watched any of my videos and thought, wouldn't it be fun to be able to play the piano and to listen to music and just kind of know how it's constructed, which is a lot of what I try to help you learn on this channel. I wanted to put together basically everything I know about music and playing the piano and put it into one comprehensive program that you can use to learn how to play anything you want. It's the Better Piano System, and it'll take you, whether you've ever started playing the piano before or not, it'll take you from the very beginning, and it'll build a skill set without overwhelming you with a bunch of theory and all kinds of stuff that you don't want to tackle. My philosophy with the Better Piano System is
I know all the theory, but I still need sheet music, though. Still need some sheet music for me.
I want to get you playing the piano as fast as humanly possible.
This is what I do for guitar, but nobody cares about my guitarness.
That's why in the very first video, you're already playing. And then within 30 minutes, we're piecing together your first full song, all without any reading sheet music or any music theory. Those are important skills, but they're ones that I believe in adding later on, naturally as we go, not overwhelming you as a prerequisite to being able to play the music you want to play.
Man, do I love
find
Chris
that's
Cornell.
a reason that so many people...
He is what I would have in another life liked to be.
People quit before they've ever really even started. And so with the Better Piano System, I wanted to fix that problem. I wanted to create something that makes sense to you, that keeps you coming back because you actually feel like you're making progress. So if you are finally ready to take your music journey to the next level, then be sure to use the link in the description down below and check out the Better Piano System. When you do, it's the best way that you can support this channel if you enjoy the content that I make here on YouTube. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, so thank you so much.
Guys, we're still waiting for the internet people to come. Internet people are supposed to come, and my internet's supposed to be upgraded from 30 down and 5 up to like 1 gig down and 1 gig up. So
much. Let's keep going.
God damn it, I love Lord of the Rings so much. It's my favorite. It's my fucking favorite movie ever. Like, movies of all time. I think of the trilogy as just a singular movie.
Peter Jackson actually only gave Howard Shore the direction of make it hobbity. That was sort of the instruction that Howard Shore had to go off of.
Make it
and part of the thought process, and I think this is why sort of the the Celtic folk tradition kind of really works well here, is because the way that Howard Shore thought of some of this stuff was like, what would this sound like if the hobbits themselves were performing? What if this was the music that they were actually performing in the Shire? If you go walking around and you hear people playing instruments and playing some of this stuff. That's where we get some of this kind of. Yeah, I think the word that comes to mind is innocent, right? And that's when we're introduced to the hobbits. That's like the first thing that it feels like. We have this beautiful scenery. We have this incredible depiction of home, and the music is telling us that you're grounded, you're safe, everything's complete, everything is just you don't have to go anywhere. There's no questions, there's no fear, there's no impending doom, and along with that we get this sort of kind of
it's Samwise.
Lumbering is not the right word, but it's this sort of
heads
innocent...
up. We detect video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked if you plan to continue. I don't really want to deal with that, guys. I might have to go off of YouTube. I really don't, but I might have to.